Well, good morning, people. Today's a really rather crappy day. So I'm kind of upset. I mean, obviously I was upset, a little perturbed in my last video that I posted yesterday regarding, recovery and, hold on, sorry, and things that's going on in, like the music industry and how like rappers and influencers, even YouTube influencers, they are promoting drug use, not just weed, and I wasn't referring to weed in any of those rants that I did yesterday. But today is a new day and a new issue, of course. Sorry about this. Oh my God, hold on. So today, of course, is a new issue. New shit every single day. So like, if you know me personally, and I've been on medication for addiction, and you know how much progress I have made over the last 2 years, more than 2 years. Don't make it a thing to embarrass yourself to ask me if I'm willing to sell my medication or give my medication. Like, look, I'm a recovery coach. Like, I'm not willing, first of all, to get rid of my medication because I'm tapering down the way I'm supposed to. So if I'm tapering and I'm suffering, not suffering, but like, if I'm tapering and I'm not feeling well, I'm not giving up my medication for you because you consistently want to use and then have your medication assisted treatment bottles be used as a crutch. Don't think that, and it's not just have to do with me, okay? Like, as a recovering addict, like, been there, done that, manipulated, lied, cheated the system, stole, robbed, lied more and more and more and more over the dumbest shit, some really stuff that wasn't so dumb, like anything to get people to do what I need from them in order for me to get the drugs that I needed to survive every single day. That said, obviously I know all the tricks in the book. It's not a fucking secret. If you sit in a room, if you're an addict and you sit in a room with other addicts, even if you've never been around other addicts like that before, everybody's gonna have a very similar story about the things we've said and done in order to get what we wanted and needed for that particular time. So if you are an addict and you're struggling, I'm gonna help you regardless. However, I will not put my reputation on the line. I will not, I will feel bad for you. Of course, I have empathy and compassion and sympathy for everybody that is suffering. No matter what you're suffering from, even addiction. It's not a fucking joke. But you're not going to make me feel that bad for you to the point where I'm going to give up my medication that I'm trying to get off of so you don't have to feel bad. I will coach you through your situations. Okay, you're not feeling good. Obviously, if you're not feeling good because you don't have your drugs or you don't have your medication and you can't afford it, yeah, I will do what I can within my power to help you. Like showing you websites or YouTube videos, any type of remedies, like home remedies that you can possibly take or do to minimize your withdrawal symptoms. I'm going to help you in that manner. However, I will not do anything for you. That's just not going to happen because you're an adult. You're not a child. Even most children do things for themselves. I will not make phone calls for you unless you're incapacitated somehow, or you don't have a cell phone because you haven't paid the bill, or whatever the case is. That's different. I will not enable manipulation. I will not enable the laziness. I will not enable you using. I will not feel bad that you had a relapse just because you're not feeling good. Like, I get it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, and I'm not saying, you know, that you're a horrible person because you relapsed when you're not feeling good. I'm not saying that at all whatsoever. What I am saying is ultimately, regardless of whether we are addicted because of genetics, or because we partied too hard and then there was no turning back after that, or because we had prescriptions that were valid that turned into something more and more and more. Like, whatever the situation is, I've been there. I had to go through it too. Like, I have compassion, but I am not going to, like, give you medication. Like, that's just not happening. Like, I'm not going to sit there and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, poor you. Like, yes, I am sorry, but like, ultimately we did it to ourselves. Like, regardless of the reason how we got to being in this situation, being addicted to whatever drugs it is or alcohol, ultimately we had to have done it to ourselves. I mean, nobody shoved drugs down your throat. If they did, that's terrible. I know it happens, but 99% of the time, as adults, even as children, knowing something was not good for you, you take it anyway. It's kind of like if you compare it to the person that sued McDonald's because they were obese. You walked into that McDonald's every single day knowing that you were going to be the size of a house if you continuously eat this way every single day. But then you want to sue McDonald's for your bad choices? So you're not going to come at me for your bad choices, because I made those same choices, but except I've accepted what I've done and I've gotten help for it, and now I'm a fucking recovery coach. Obviously it's possible. It wasn't like I was just like slinging a couple of pills here and there. I was fucking hardcore, dude. Like, you know, I'm not saying I was bigger, badder than anybody else. What I'm saying is it wasn't fucking easy. And nothing worth fighting for is ever going to be easy. Your recovery is fucking hard. It's fucking hard. You go through the cravings, but you fucking push through it. If you've really had enough, if you really can't take it anymore, you fucking push through that shit. You fucking do what you have to do. Just like, it's so like, look, when we were in active addiction, we were doing anything and everything we had to do to keep up our addiction, right? So why can't you give your recovery that same amount of energy? Why can't you put in everything that you have and even like manipulate others just to stay recovered? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't like hurt nobody, but obviously if you're manipulating somebody in order for you to stay in recovery, that's I mean, I could kind of look past that, honestly. Is that stupid to say? I don't know. But it's for the greater good, right? I mean, we're fucking adults. Like, if we didn't do everything in our power to stay on those drugs, like to make sure that we were not in withdrawals every day, every second, every minute, every hour of every day, then why can't you put that much energy into your recovery? Because you're tired. There's things for that. You know, you're fucking nauseous. There's things for that. Like, you're allowed to take that time for yourself in the beginning of recovery when shit is at its hardest. Like, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. You should be doing that throughout your recovery. Your recovery is selfish. Your recovery is always going to be selfish. So eventually, you can be selfless for the ones that you love and care about and want to take care of and want to have a happy, productive life with. Is that so fucking hard? I mean, yeah, it is. But when you compare it to the shit that we've done to keep our habit going, is it really that hard? Like, yeah, it feels shitty. It feels like probably the worst feeling ever. There really is no words that you can describe. It's like how you can't put into words to describe giving birth to a child, that labor and delivery process. You can't really put it into words. It's the same thing with withdrawals. You cannot put it into proper words to get other people who have not physically gone through it to understand how crazy it is. Like, it is just super, like, you just can't explain it. So that same energy has to be put into your recovery. It's like, that's it. Like, you need to do that. That's how you're gonna fucking survive. That's how you're gonna survive. And some people might say, oh, well, I can't really talk because I've been on medication, which takes away cravings and withdrawals. Look, I've also recovered without it. So I've been in both places. And I knew, and the reason why I went on medication is because, which I don't owe anybody an explanation, but I'm going to tell you, if you are on medication to end your cravings and your relapsing, if you are on medication, there is no shame in that game. I don't care what anybody tells you. I'm fucking open as fuck about my whole entire recovery story. However, there was a time before that where I was not in so much recovery. I was just not using, and I went through the withdrawals. And then I relapsed, and then I started using hardcore drugs. So I've been there, done that, in all sorts of every type of story that you can possibly think of that has to do with relating to drugs and recovery. So I knew what worked for me, and I knew what did not work for me. So when I kept getting clean without medication and I kept relapsing, I also back then did not have tools to help me, like coping skills and stuff, to help me get through any cravings or urges and stuff like that. But that's why I'm here. I'm learning from these mistakes that I've made, or the things that's good that's happened in my life. I'm learning from all of that, and I'm putting it out into the universe. Take it as you will. I mean, if I could just help one, I know it's so dumb to say, not dumb, but like cliche, if I could just help one person, then I've done my job, and that's fucking 100% true. If you could relate to me in any way and look at me and say, well, she fucking made it. She was a fucking heroin addict. She was a cocaine addict. She was a pill addict. She fucking has 5 kids. She has a marriage that didn't really fail. I mean, we've had our issues, but I'm still married. Well, we've been together 15 years. We have 5 children together. We had a foundation before there was drugs, which is probably the only reason why we made it after we both got clean. So, I'm putting my story out there to help people. That's it. There is no bragging. There is no one-upping. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's stupid. There are people at my clinic that do that. They think they have to one-up every time somebody says, not just me, but anybody says, I've like, for instance, there's one particular person, when we get a new person in group and they say, oh, my drug of choice was heroin, and this girl who had only ever done pills her life, which is still bad, will say things like, oh yeah, I was just about to stick that needle in my arm. Like, she goes into graphic detail. Like, why would you say that? Why are you glorifying any drugs for that matter? Why are you glorifying the fact that you supposedly almost did this? Like, why do you keep saying that? It has nothing to do with your recovery, and it has nothing to do with your drug use. So why are you saying that? It's like you're trying to relate because she feels like maybe she can't relate to nobody there. So that's my point. I'm putting myself out there to relate to, it's not about bragging, because I am not happy about what I've done, and I am shamed, and I carry shame and I carry guilt for the things that I've done. And but that's through my recovery process. I'm going through the motions, I'm dealing with it, and I'm putting it out to you guys, and you do what you will with it. Anyway, I have to go. Have a good day, and don't ask nobody for no medication. That shit ain't fucking cool, man. Bye.